You know we had to talk about it. Recapping the drama and reviewing the chaos, one episode at a time. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Reality Recap and Reviews with Pam Unfiltered. This is episode 11 and 12 of Love Island USA season 8. Oh my God, I got that right. Y'all don't have no idea how many times I will do a take on an intro because my mouth does not want to form the USA part. But I have to remember that we are not the originators. So we got to put that in there. I know, very American of me. I apologize. But let's get into the episode again. It's going to be 11 and 12 because I am behind. When I tell you I'm behind, I am behind. Okay, we already up to episode 14. Sugar. But anyway, so the episode opens up with the residual of Bia leaving. Trinity is very, very emotional. This was her best friend in the house. She is just devastated that her girl is gone. So after we see her and Bryce walk off, they do cut to Gabrielle and Jen. And she's like, how are you feeling? Obviously, girl, he is upset. He's crying. Hello? But he's like, just give me a few moments. He had to gather himself. I have to be honest with you. I'm still shocked that Gabrielle was so emotional because he doesn't really give us much. But then again, production doesn't show us much, or Love Island doesn't really show us much about his personality. All you'll see him is, have like these mini conversations with the women, and then he wants to make out. So for him to be really emotional about Bia leaving was just really shocking to me. And it just showed us another side of Gabrielle, which I can truly appreciate. So after that little conversation with him and Jen, we get Kenzie and Caleb. Caleb is asking her, like, how do you feel that you're now in a couple with me? She's like, I'm excited to get to know you. I've always been interested, we have a lot more in common than her and Corbin. And I'm like, obviously, you have zero in common with Corbin outside of sexual, or I should say just lust, that you want to jump his bones and he want to jump your bones. What conversations outside of checking your temperature and asking for kisses, anything sexual, what do you guys talk about? I'm waiting, Kenzie. What do you talk about? You don't talk about anything else. So obviously you have more in common with Caleb. On top of that, y'all both white Southerners. She says, listen, I could be all in this new couple. The only thing that's really holding her back is his age. And she says, I'm 24, you're 21. He said, well, I'll be 22 in December. She's like, you're young. And I'm just like, Kenzie, please cut this shit. Just cut it out. All right. Like, you're not 35 and he's 20. You are 2 years older than him. It's not that serious. There's no difference in how someone grew up, unless it's like poverty and rich or something like that. But when it comes to a lot of Americans, we kind of have, depending like on your age group, within your age group or your generation, you somewhat have very similar, similar, what's the word I'm looking for? Similar childhoods, right? When it comes to pop culture, TV, all that stuff, it's all the same. You get what I'm saying? So 24 and 22 are not, there isn't a difference. Just cut it out, right? So after that, we get Sincere and he pulls Soul into Soul Ties. And he's just like, she's like, how are you feeling? Pretty much them switching couples was sudden. They had no clue what's going on until Ariana came into the villa. And he's like, I'm excited to get to know you and, I guess give his all or give somewhat of their new couple a try. Now, mind you, he's saying all this to her to make her feel good. All the while, his face is just somber. It's sad. It's devastated. He's just like, why are you looking at me like that? And I'm like, so I know you see this. I know you see him. I know you see him looking depressed. And I would have addressed that right in. I'm like, you sure you excited? Because you look really sad. Like, be honest here. Be upfront about your feelings. That you have to be honest here in this situation. You can't just be lying, telling me one thing, telling Melanie something, telling the islands another thing, and then telling the camera another. Like, don't that get kind of confusing and convoluted? Like, what are we doing? Just if you are 100% honest with yourself and 100% honest with the people you're talking about, no one can ever fault you on anything. No one can blame you for anything because you were open and honest. And it was the people who you've spoken to. It was their choice if they wanted to accept what you were providing to them or you were giving to them. It is that easy. But for some reason, Sincere, it's hard for him. He is such a people pleaser. So after that, we get Corbin and Melanie in the speakeasy, again, checking temperatures. How are you doing? With the sudden coupling. And he's like, he's not going to lie. He's like really upset that him and, Kenzie are no longer. He said, but he is excited to get to know, Melanie. She's like, yeah, like I am too. She was like, you and I have been giving googly eyes to one another for a while now. So, why not just try it out? She wants to start off fresh because there was just so much toxicity when it came to her, Soul, and Sincere. And I'm like, the toxicity was on you and Sincere's end because Soul didn't do anything. You two are the toxic ones. I'm just saying. But he was like, listen, like, I picked you for a reason. I want to get to know you and this new couple, see how things go. He said, but you can't be freaking out. He said, you cannot be freaking out throughout this villa because you see Sincere and Soul holding hands or kissing. Like, just let it rock. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I just want to start fresh. So after their conversation, we get Sincere in the kitchen after the conversation with Soul that he wants to be in a couple with Melanie. Do you see what I'm saying? Where he just does not lay everything out. He'll tell Soul one thing, Melanie one thing, the islands one thing, and then us in the confessionals one thing. And it's just like, y'all, if they get movie night and they show all the dishonesty of Sincere, he is going to be up Schitt's Creek. Up Schitt's Creek. Because I just don't understand why he just can't just be what his name is. Sincere and honest. It's not that hard. It really isn't. When you're true to yourself, that's it. I don't get him. So anyway, we get the girls in the makeup room, dressing room, whatever you want to call it. And Melanie is crying. She's like, listen, like, so I really, really, really like Sincere and it's really hurting. And so it's like, I understand, pretty much she's sorry about the situation. They kind of like hug it out. But then Melanie asks her, she's like, listen, like, did you and Sincere kiss tonight? She's like, yeah. And Melanie is devastated, honey. Devastated to the point where she told Corbin, she's like, listen, tonight was a lot. She's like, I need to sleep in Soul ties by myself. I cannot sleep in there. She don't want to see Sincere and Soul in the bed. Like, she just can't take it. Corbin understands, but we all know Corbin wanted to have a little Mac session in the bed. Let's be real. That's what he really wanted. But he understood what she was feeling. And, he just let it rock. He let it be. Baby, when the lights went out, who was making out in the bed? Soul and Sincere. I can't. I just can't. But another conversation. There was a conversation that was happening at the night. There was a conversation that was happening when the lights went out, and that was with Zach and Kayda. And Zach tells Kayda, would she be upset if he pulled the next bombshell? He was looking at him like, are you serious? And she kind of like screw you and turns away and goes to sleep. And I'm just like, girl, he is giving you all the kind of signs that he do not want to be with you anymore. He is losing interest. Like, wake up, girl. And you could tell she was thinking about it because it cuts to a scene where he sleep, but she's laid out like this. Just upset. So now we get the next day. Melanie is waking up off of Soul ties. The girls come check on her. They're like, well, how did you sleep here? She's like, I slept amazing. But she was still upset about Sincere being dishonest. And I'm like, he's been dishonest for a very long time. This is nothing new. It's nothing new, right? So then we get Trinity and Bryce. Trinity is pretty much giving props to Bryce. Like, thank you so much for being there for me when Bia left. Like, she was just really hurt. He said, absolutely. I'm always going to be here for you. Pretty much they're in a couple. But then she starts going in on Sincere. She was like, she does not like the way Sincere is moving in this house. She's like, this dude is so dishonest, and it's to the point where it's affecting other people's feelings. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's just saying what the other women want to hear. pretty much what I just said, prior to the scene with Trinity and Bryce. So then we get Mel and Aniyah. Aniyah's asking Mel, how was her conversation with Corbin? She said it was really, really good. She's excited being this couple and being refreshed. And then, of course, she goes into the whole thing with Sincere again. Sincere just not being the person that he likes to boast himself to be. So now we get Casey and Soul in the kitchen. Casey wanted to check on her because remember the last episode when they had the whole pie thing and everybody was pieing her for whatever the reasons were and nobody was comforting her in the kitchen when she was crying. And he was just like, listen, I want to talk to you. I want to make sure you're okay, but I know you're not trying to hear nothing right now. So he said pretty much he's going to check on her later, which he was doing right here. And he said, listen, I wanted to hug you because that was something truthful. Like that was something honest that I wanted to do. And then he goes into the conversation when he was like, listen, when you first came in with your white bathing suit and your red booty cheeks, he was like, I was interested. He said, but and he wanted to pull her for chats, but every time he mustered the courage to like pull her for a chat, Lord have mercy, is late. Sincere was right there to snatch her up. And she's like, honey, like, that don't mean nothing. You could have snatched me up at any other time. You could have even had cut them off. Like, oh, Sincere, that was a good conversation, but can I pull Soul? That's what everybody else do. Why you couldn't do that? But I guess he felt like it wasn't worth it. So he said he was just going to stick with what he had going good with Aniyah, right? Now, while they are having a conversation in the kitchen, Aniyah and Mel are on the opposite end, peeping that they're having this conversation. Of course, Aniyah and her insecurities are just gathering in her system and just probably trying to figure out like what conversation they're having, what kinds of conversation they're having. And then she kind of makes like a little fun of him because his leg was draped over the chair, calling him grandpa. I'm just like, girl, just have your conversations with Mel. Stop worrying about what Casey got going on. You said to Corbin when Corbin entered this house that y'all was open. So he's having a conversation with Soul, let it be. So after that, we get who is this? We get Kenzie and Corbin, and they're having a conversation. Kenzie likes to put on this victim, oh my God, like I'm so devastated act. You know what I mean? And so Corbin is asking her, like, what's going on? She's like, I'm having a really hard time being paired with Caleb, and she's really, really upset the fact that he is coupled with Mel. And, she just wished that they were a couple pretty much, right? So Corbin's like, yeah, I'm upset too. Like you and I have a good thing going and I want to continue to explore it. So then he asked her for a kiss and she was like, kiss on the cheek. And he's like, because I want to respect Melanie. And she was like, oh, no, 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 no. She talks like a little girl that whines and draws her words and not in a Southern way, FYI, in a very immature, I don't know vocabulary way. It's hard to describe, but she like whines and it's really quite annoying. So when she turned his cheek kiss down, they went into the kitchen and she was like, oh, you not giving me a kiss or asking for a kiss is crazy. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, I just asked you for a kiss on the cheek. She's like, no, on the cheek. And I'm like, oh my God, this girl is too fucking much. Like she's doing too much. Like for what? And it's all for attention. This girl cannot take the fact that the other girls in the villa who are non-white outside of Jen is getting way more attention than her. It's crazy. It's crazy. All those MAGA allegations about her, I'm sorry, they're true. The way she moves, certain little microaggressive, the certain microaggressive terms that she used is just like, no, that's her. Her brother's like, oh, that's not Kenzie. We're not Trumpers. Yes, y'all are. Yes, y'all are. Cut it out. Right? So then now we get Kenzie and Melanie because Melanie wants to get the green flag from Kenzie to pursue Corbin. So they're both asking each other, how are they? Kenzie goes, oh, I'm like devastated because I'm not with Corbin anymore. He's paired with you. This is just a lot. Blah, 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 blah. And then Melanie goes, it's difficult for me because she really likes Sincere, but now he's with Soul. And she was just like, but you know what? I do want to get to know Corbin, but the only way I'm going to get to know Corbin is if you give me the green flag. And when I tell you, Kenzie's just like, you can have the green flag. And I'm just like, this bitch. I'm not asking you for no green flag. He's not your man. You and a new couple. That's it. Me and him in a couple, we gonna explore. I don't need your fucking permission. Please. Are you kidding me? Not from her. Anyway, so after that, what was I gonna say? Now we get Zach and Kayda talking. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't care about their conversations. They're boring. I don't care. And then we get Jen and Gabrielle on those like, I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all would describe it. It's like the stairs, but they like couches, the lounges, whatever you want to call it. They're over there having like a little conversation, but y'all already know how Gabrielle's conversations go. They're like for 2 seconds. And then he's like, I'm trying to get a kiss. You care? Because we out here in the woods. She's like, out here in public, you know, around everybody. And she's like, I don't care. Like, I do not care if people see what we doing, honey. And they start making out. And I'm like, damn, Gabrielle. Like, it hasn't even been 24 hours before Bea left. Like, what are you doing? So now we get Aniyah and KC talking, and it's like a really quick like conversation. You know, he's like, you know, when's the last time you had sex? She said like a year ago, and she asked him when was the last time you had sex. He was like, my birthday. Now I don't know when Casey's birthday is, but it sounds like it was it was just recent. So him having sex was recently, but she's like, oh, wow, okay. And then they get a text. Now it's time for a soccer game. I don't know what kind of game they called it, but it's pretty much a soccer game because right now in the United States, we are hosting, excuse me, not holding, but we're hosting the Fight for World Cup. So we got people here in New York City, New Jersey. I think it's people in Texas, Atlanta, like they're all over. Right. So now we get the game. The game is they have to take a soccer ball and put it in the goalpost, but without using their hands because you know soccer, you don't use your hands. After that, they have to like take the hot dog off the stick. After that, they have to jump into this goo, get as much goo to fill up a soccer bowl. Okay. After that, then they get a question, and one of the islanders is the answer to the question. Whoever they choose for the answer, then that's why they have to dump the goo. Okay. So let's run down the questions and who they gooed. So Trinity and Bryce are first, and it says who's carrying their couple. They gooed Caleb. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that dump and that choice, but whatever. Kenzie and Caleb, it says which player fumbled the ball. They chose Gabrielle. Again, I don't understand why they chose Gabrielle. What did he fumble? Y'all answer me that. Then we get Aniyah and KC. It says which player is secretly scouting for other options, and they choose Corbin. But can we talk about the way Aniyah was deep throating that hot dog? Girl, all you had to do was take it off the string. You had to do all that, but okay, girl, go ahead, do your thing, do your thing. And then Melanie's and Corbin's was most overrated player. They chose Sincere, which I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Then we get Zach and Kayda, and it says, which one it says is which players acting like they won the league. Zach goes into this whole spiel like, oh, this person, he acts like, you know, he doesn't want to explore. But when this particular bombshell came in, he was all to get to know her. But then all of a sudden, he just decided he didn't want to take any chance and he wanted to play it safe. Then he dumps it on KC. And when I tell you, Aniyah's face was motherfucking twisted. She was pissed. But we're going to circle back to the beginning of Casey and not Casey, Zach and Kayda. Now, during the little hot dog section, right? When Zach was on a hot dog, did y'all see how production was panning over to Bryce the whole time? And did you hear what he said? He said that tongue is crazy. Yep, that's right. See, they watching the comments, they watching what we saying, y'all, and they keep cutting to Bryce when it comes to something sexual and when it comes to Zach. And I just can't take it. I can't take it. So then after that, we get Gabrielle and Jen. It says which player has been cut off site the most. I didn't quite understand what that was, but they gooed Sincere. And again, anything that Sincere was good with, he deserved. So now we get Soul and Sincere, and it says what Islander is most likely to be booed by fans. For some reason, he chose Bryce, but he should have chose himself. Because I don't think Bryce will get any kind of boos whatsoever when he comes out the villa. But you will. You definitely will, buddy. You definitely will. Nobody is here for you at all. I'm just saying. So after the game, Kayda and Zach is like, ooh, Aniyah is mad at us because of that question. And I'm just saying to myself, we all know Zach is sneaky. That's evident. He's done it. He's tried to be sneaky and put a wrench in Bryce and Trinity's relationship. And it's obvious that he's doing it with, Aniyah and KC, because at the end of the day, those three couples are the strongest and he's trying to eliminate the competition. But while you're doing that, I feel like now Kayda is joining in on it. I don't know if she knows what she's doing or she's just following his lead, but it's just I don't like that kind of gameplay. I think it's just ridiculous. Like if you are the top three, but you're the bottom of the top three, then you at the bottom of the top three, and it's just your chemistry with Kayda. There's no need for you to sabotage other relationships because you want to win $100,000. That's dirty gameplay, and because of that, you're not gonna win. You're not. But Kayda and Zach was like, oh, it had nothing to do with her. I don't know why she's taking it so personal. You knew it was going to happen. Like, cut the crap. So then we get Corbin and Melanie. I'm just reading my notes down here, right? And he's talking, Melanie and Corbin are having a conversation after the game. And he admits to Melanie that he did kiss Kenzie, right? And she's like, listen, I understand. Like, your feelings are still there. They're not going to go away in 24 hours. Like, let's be real here. Like, I understand and I get it and I appreciate your honesty. Somewhat a certain person don't know how to do. And his name is Sincere. I'm just saying. So now we cut to the night. Oh, guys, something is in my eye, y'all. Hold on. So now we got the nightcap. We got Trinity and Kayda having a conversation, and they are peeping Gabrielle and Jen have another conversation. She's like, well, how do you feel about those two over there? They're like, they don't look good together. They look like a mismatch. And it was like, don't you think he moving a little too fast? Like, it's only been 24 hours since Bea left. Like, they really not feeling it, right? So then it cuts to Melanie and Corbin. They're having a cool conversation up in the like lounge areas. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about, their past and things like that. And I like them two together. I just have to say this. I see with them that they can have a friendship, but also have a sexual love relationship. If you get what I'm saying, like they can have both. I really like when they talk to one another. It's nice to watch. But they have a conversation and she's like, listen, we don't even have to talk. We can dead ass just sit here, lounge and be silent and look over the balcony. He's like, I'm here for it. He's like, let's do this. And that's what they do. But in the conversation, they do have something in common though. He says that he's a videographer and she says she does storyboards and screenplays, I think. I think that's what she does. And he was like, listen, let's link up. And I'm like, I'm here for it because I really like you two together. Like, I really do. So now we get Aniyah. She talks to Zach and Kayda and they tell her, like, listen, that question wasn't a dig to you. It was just to say that, listen, Sincere did want to get to know Soul, but then he stopped. And she's like, but listen, I don't want to be nobody's second choice, safe choice. And they're like, no, that's not what we're trying to say. We're not saying that that's what he's doing. And that is not how he's moving. He's not moving as you as his second choice, but he does, he did want to get to know Soul. Let me tell you something. The way that they threw that nugget out there during the game, right? And then now they're trying to cape for KC. Aniyah's not trying to hear anything they have to say. Aniyah's brain is already set that this dude is keeping me as an option, and not his number one. And I'm having feelings about that. She is not listening to anything they have to say, and it continues on in the night. I'm just saying. So after that, we get Casey. He pulls Soul. Right? And he tells her, listen, when you first came in, again, I don't know why he has this same conversation. It's the same to me in the beginning was the same conversation. But he's like, I think our chemistry will be good. And she said, listen, like, all of you guys are closed off. Like, how am I get to know anybody? Like, you didn't even, like, you wanted to get to know me, but you were too chicken to get to know me for what? You guys are all closed off. You're not giving yourself a chance to get to know me. But the way Soul has this conversation is just kind of like, it's dead. It's dead in the water. Like, I'm not even interested in you to get to know me, but you had your chance, right? So Aniyah is still having a conversation with Kayda and Zach, and she's like, "Well, where's KC?" And they're like, "Oh, he's over there talking to Soul." She's like, "Great, of course, of course. Why would he be talking to Soul?" And I'm like, Aniyah, you lose me every fucking episode. Like, you lose me every episode, girl. Let's be real here. When you were having a conversation with Corbin, you said you're open. Both the users open. Why are you mad he's talking to Soul? Is it because Soul looks like his ex-girlfriend? But you're scared? Or is it you really don't care that he's talking to Soul? The only reason why you're caring is because you don't have another option in the house and you don't want to go home. Could it be that? Because at the end of the day, he's not your preference either. You definitely like mixed looking men. Not light skinned black men, mixed looking black men. Sean, Sincere, and Corbin. Corbin and Sincere, no, I'm sorry. Corbin and Sean are Blasian, black and Asian. I'm assuming because Corbin is Jamaican, I'm assuming he's black and Chinese. And then Sean is black and Korean. And then you have Sincere. Sincere is a question mark to me. Sincere looks Puerto Rican, but Sincere also looks Puerto Rican and black. Like, there's a parent that's black. That's where he's coming off to me. But all the whiles, at the end of the day, Puerto Rican people are mixed. They're European, black, and Taino, indigenous Taino. So he's mixed. So after that, Aniyah pulls KC for a chat, and they go into, I believe they go into the speakeasy, right? And she's trying to have a serious conversation with KC, but he's laughing. She's like, I don't find nothing funny. Like, I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you, and you laugh. And he's like, all right, let me get serious. Let me laugh a little bit. And I think he's doing that because he was uncomfortable. Not necessarily he thinks the situation is laughable. I think he's just really nervous. Right? So he gets a little laughs out, and she's like, listen, like, I'm not even mad about the conversation. She's upset at the fact that, he is saying that she is a safe choice. He's like, yo, I never said you were a safe choice. I never said that. He never did. He didn't say it. Kayda didn't say it. And neither did Zach. She is rummaging in her head that is what is going on. And that is not what's happening. He had to explain to her, listen, yes, I had interest in getting to know Soul, but it was like, do I want to risk my relation that's going good with you for a mystery person or a mystery chat? He's like, no, that ain't worth it at all. But that's it's not registered in her head. She's like, I don't want to be somebody's safe choice. I don't want to be somebody's second option. I'm just like, this girl's not listening. Like, she's not listening. He's getting frustrated because he knows she's not listening. And he's like, the conversation's over pretty much. The conversation ends and they leave. And he's like really frustrated. He's like, yo, like, I don't know how many times I have to reassure this woman. I don't know how many times I have to say it, that she is my number one. Why is she not listening to that? And I don't understand. And then I'm just saying, then I thought a little bit after, and I was like, this could be it, right? Number one, she is threatened about her place in the villa because she doesn't have anybody else that she can kind of like attach herself with and into a couple. It's only KC for the time being. And number two, maybe their relationship is going really well, but it's boring to her. Like, maybe she needs a little spice in her relationship, so she's creating this drama just to give a little spice to it, because maybe it's just very flat at the moment. That's what I was thinking. But after that, we get Bryce, Trinity, Kayda, and Zach at the fire pit. Kayda gets a text. The hideaway is open, and everybody chooses Zach and Kayda. I'm not gonna front. Zach did not look happy. He was like, I gotta go on hideaway this bitch. All right. And that's where the episode ends. Let's get into episode 12. It's already at the 30-minute mark. Lord help me. Let's see if I can do this in 15 minutes. Let's cross fingers. So it opens up with Kayda and Zach getting into the Hideaway. They go in there. They sift through what the room looks like. I'm sorry, it's like all red and black velvet. Very 80s hotel motel tacky. I'm not here for it. They open up this like glass mirror. Well, mirrors are glass. They open up the mirror and is like a hideaway of sex toys. They pull out the little, spanking straps. And she's like, ooh, hit my booty. And he hits it. She's like, ooh, this is nice. They get into it. They have sex. The toes are curling. I was trying to figure out was it Kayda's toes or his toes. They look more like Kayda's toes. Her toes were curling, honey. They was getting it in. After they had sex, you guys, do you know what Zach had to say to her? He says to her right after they had sex, would you be mad if I pulled the next bombshell? And she's like, wrong time. Like, this is not the right time to be asking this. And I'm just like, girl, you don't see the red flags? He's like literally throwing it in your face and you're not saying anything and it's wild. And I don't know if it's because you're waiting for Casa Amor, so you're trying to play it safe, but girl, he ain't it. He is not it. And he keeps telling you and telling us that he's not into you. I'm just saying. So now we get the conversation with Trinity and Aniyah, and Aniyah's running down everything that happened. And Trinity was like, first of all, don't take offense to this, but I think you're like putting too much sauce on it. I think Casey pours into you a lot. And I think he reassures you a lot, and you are his number one. And she's like, yeah, but when we have the conversations, I just need 5 minutes of seriousness. And I'm like, okay, you're just not listening to what people saying because there's too many people telling you who he is when it comes to you, and you're not listening. Now that there are so many people telling you that that's not how he's moving. Now you go to the point. Now you change the issue you're having with him, and you're saying, "Oh, but he doesn't take conversation seriously." Aniyah, just stop, please. Just stop. This whole thing about this stupid question that Zach and Kayda did is really like all this is unwarranted. It really is unwarranted. Like, just stop. It's just doing too much. So now we get Corbin, Kenzie, and Caleb, right? Is it Corbin and Kenzie? No, I'm sorry. It's Corbin and Kenzie at the docks. They're having a conversation. Caleb is in the kitchen with, I think, Soul and Sincere. And I feel like there's somebody else in the kitchen, but I don't remember. Maybe it's Jen. And while they're in the kitchen, he's peeping over at the docks and looking at, Corbin and Kenzie having a conversation. And he's obviously bothered. He's like, she's not pretty much putting no effort into us. She's always with Corbin having these little conversations and stuff like that. And Cecilia was like, you good, because that just could not be me. There was one point in a conversation between Kenzie and Corbin where they hugged, and I guess they looked like they were kissing. And he was like, yo, they're like over there kissing. Sincere was like, you better than me, baby, because that's not going to happen over here. And I'm like, oh, shut up, Sincere. You're not going to do diddly widdly Scott. Please. Nothing. Just shut up. And, word spreads around that these two are kissing at the docks. And Melanie gets word of it and she gets upset to the point where she's sleeping in soul ties again. Yep. So she decides that she wants to sleep in soul ties. The next day comes, and who's in the bed? I think it's Corbin, and is it Corbin? I don't think so. I think it's Caleb. If it's not, it's Caleb and Casey talking in the dorm room in a bed, and Casey flat out says what Melanie is doing in soul ties is for attention. I don't think she's really that deeply hurt. I think she just wants the attention. That's why she's sleeping in soul ties. And I agree with you. I think 80% of it is for attention, and the rest of it is because she's really upset the fact that Sincere is with Soul, or the fact that Corbin was making out with Kenzie. And they really weren't. That's what it is. So after that, after that in the morning, everybody's chilling. Aniyah walks by Casey and he's like, yo, Aniyah, like, do you want to have this conversation? She's like, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk right now. And then she goes over to the little stair lounge and she has like a little piece of fruit and she's sitting there looking all like a wounded bird eating a fruit or something because she just wants to be alone because she's just so annoyed by how Casey took the conversation. Girl, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, go do that performance somewhere else. So Casey's having a conversation with Corbin. Corbin talks about his relationship with Kenzie. He's like, listen, we got like a real serious sexual chemistry. He's like, yo, I've been DJing on it. He been DJing on it. And I'm like, yes, we know, baby. We see it. We see it. That night vision, we see it. We see it. We see you. And that's why she wants you. Because you're doing it right. Commend you. You're doing it right. That's why she owned you like that. But then Casey said, yo, like Aniyah does nothing. She like goes straight to sleep and he calls her grandma. When I tell you, when he said that, everybody on social media was like, how dare you call her grandma because she don't want to mess with you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, child, please. Because she called him grandpa. So I would not be surprised if that's a nickname for both of them. Because what a coincidence that she calls him grandpa and he calls her grandma. I don't think that he was trying to insult her at all when it came to that. So after that conversation, right, we get Bryce and Trinity. We get Bryce and Trinity having a conversation. I don't care about that conversation, so we're gonna move on. So now we get Kenzie and Caleb. Oh my god. Ooh, that's so not cute to be yawning. Lord have mercy. It's only 12:30. Yes, I go to bed late. So we get Kenzie and Caleb having a conversation, and he wants to talk to her about what went down last night with her and Corbin at the docks. He's like, listen, I understand that you were in a couple with him before, but you're in a couple with us now, and I understand that you're going to explore that couple, but like the kissing and stuff like that. She's like, we didn't kiss over there. She said we didn't kiss at all. And he's like, oh, that was my mistake. But from the kitchen, it looked like you guys were kissing. And she's like, listen, I'm all into, our couple and still explore Corbin. Like, I'm going to be very honest about, the things that I do with Corbin, which Caleb understands. But Caleb also is setting boundaries with her. He's like, listen, I don't know how long you think I'm going to wait while you and Corbin figure whatever's out. And she's like, well, I understand. I definitely want you to explore. And I'm like, Kayla, please explore, please. Cause she ain't it, baby. She is not it. She's not thinking up here. She's thinking about that cootie cat. That is who she's, can I get this together? That's who's making her move. Her cootie cat, not up here. Okay. So then after that conversation, we get Soul, Trinity, and Aniyah. I thought this was like a cute little scene. They're in the kitchen and they're staring at the guys working out. And they're like, oof, look at him. He looks so good. They're talking about Corbin, by the way. He was like, oh, he looks so good. Let's get a closer look. He's like, oh, let's go get some bean bags. Oh, all right, look at this channel. And this channel was Gabrielle, and he was doing some pull-ups. Like, oh, he got a nice back. And so it's like, oh, I love me a good back. Let's change the channel. And then they changed the channel to Corbin. And it's like, oh, yeah, let's stick to this channel because, oh, he looks so good. Now, mind you, the person who's saying all this is Aniyah. Mm-hmm. So all that she's doing about Casey, and she's sitting over there, drooling over Corbin. Drooling over Corbin. So as they're just having a little cute little visuals of the guys working out, Melanie comes by and they're like, she's like, what are you guys doing? She's like, oh, we're admiring the view. This is the channel that we definitely like, who is Corbin. And Trinity was like, bitch, he is so fine. You better explore that. You better explore that. Because girl, he look like he gonna flip you all kinds of ways. And I'm like, yes, girl, let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Because I like you two together. Not only do you have sexual chemistry, but you guys look like you can develop a really good friendship. So I'm here for that. So if y'all get deep and good together, by all means, girl, do it. And I would love to see it. So after that, we get a conversation with, not a conversation, but Zach and Kayda come from the Hideaway. They separate. The guys are with Zach and Kayda is with the girls. And Kayda lets them know that they had sex. And girls like, and the guy's like, well, y'all did it? You did it? He's like, yeah, we did it. And he's like, you did everything? He's like, yeah, everything. And then here come Bryce. The butt stuff. Now, Bryce. Now, Bryce. Why you had to mention the butt stuff? Hmm? What was the point of that? And Zach's like, no, not the butt stuff. And Bryce looks so butt hurt. And I don't get why he looks like that. Be who you are for your pride. Is that your song, Bryce? Do you need to be who you are in this month of Pride of June? This is Pride Month and Juneteenth for my Black Americans. All right, Bryce, I'm gonna keep my eye on you because I don't trust you no more. So Mel and Caleb have a conversation, and Caleb, she wants to check on Mel. He's like, "How you doing?" After this sudden recoupling, and she's like, "I'm doing okay." She's like, "I want to start fresh," and he wants to let her know that because though it spread that Kenzie and Corbin were on the docks kissing. He wanted to let her know that in fact they weren't kissing. And she's like, "Oh my God, good. That was a reason why, I slept in soul ties because I just pretty much, she doesn't want to be a part of that. She doesn't want to be in another triangle. She wants to, she just stepped back a little bit because if that is what they want to do, she doesn't want to be involved at all." Then he tells her about uh, the conversation he has with Kenzie, and she understands, but he really wants to know how she feels about situation with Sincere. She's kind of hesitant, but he's like, "Listen, this conversation is not going past you and I, so you can express yourself." And she expressed herself. She's hurt. Again, she's hurt. She really cares for Sincere, but obviously they're toxic, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Whatever. So now we get, I really, really, truly dislike Kenzie. I didn't mind her in the beginning, but Kenzie is showing how ignorant, how racist she can be, and how microaggressive, like the words that come out her mouth is microaggressive, and how much she has a problem with Black women and Black adjacent women being more desirable than her. She can't fucking stand it. It is so evident. So her and big boobs and big teeth, Jen, are sitting upstairs by the makeup room and they're having a conversation. And she's like, "Oh, she really likes Corbin, but their relationship is so lustful. Like she really loves it. But she's upset with him because he is not giving her the attention that she wants and that he is giving Melanie the respect that she deserves." Are you fucking kidding me? It's wrong for him to consider Melanie's feelings. You have a problem with that. I thought that was your friend. You got big teeth, big boob, Anna Nicole Smith, not even doppelganger. Teen Move version of Anna Nicole Smith sitting up there, the new white girl. So now fuck the rest of them. Right? So now you're starting to talk bad about them, specifically Melanie, because you got a big major problem with Melanie and I don't quite understand. It's ridiculous. Melanie is so stuck on Sincere. Let's be honest, she's not really thinking about Corbin. He's not. So in this conversation, she was saying like she doesn't understand why Melanie is pursuing Corbin because she's so, like I said before, she's so stuck on Sincere. Her and Corbin are in a fucking couple, you dummy. And if she decides that she doesn't want to be in a toxic triangle with Sincere and Soul and wants to pursue Corbin, she can. Get over it. He's not your man. You don't own him. You don't own him. You don't own nobody. The only thing you own is the clothing off of your fucking back and in your suitcase. She is gross. And the fact that Jen is just sitting there agreeing with her, like, this conversation was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Honestly, it is. And I'm tired of it. But they cut to her and she's like, I don't understand why people are so afraid and so limited on exploring. If that's the case, why are you mad that Corbin and Melanie want to explore each other? Why? Does that only go for you and nobody else? What are you talking about, Kenzie? I would really like Kenzie to go. Like I would really like for Kenzie to go. For real, for real. She needs to get off. She needs to get out the villa. Because I'm tired of her. I'm tired of her being upset because other women of color are more desired than her. Maybe it's your personality. Did you ever think about that? Did you maybe think about that? Your personality is not the best? Or better yet, there are men out here who prefer women of color, not white women. Surprise! Here's another surprise. White people only make 7% of the world population. The rest of it is people of color. So yeah, they do prefer each other. Surprise! You're not that desirable. You need to get over it at this point. So now we get Melanie and Corbin. And I'm just looking at my notes. Hold on, y'all. So now we get the conversation with Corbin and Melanie. It's in the same spot that Jen and Kenzie were having a conversation. Again, checking on her, see how she's doing. He's like, listen, like, even though he has this feelings and he desires for Kenzie, he still wants to put his all in the couple with her. And he's saying, listen, like a step into really getting to know each other and exploring is sleeping next to each other. So again, he was a little bothered at the fact that she kept sleeping in soul ties. And she's like, listen, I understand. She said, the reason why I didn't sleep in our bed last night was because I heard that you and Kenzie were making out, and I just don't want to be involved in anything like that. He was like, no, we weren't making out. And he's like, will you be sleeping in soul ties tonight? Or are you going to bed? She was like, I'm going to sleep in a bed tonight. And that's when their conversation ends. We get Trinity, Bryce, Soul, and Sincere. They're having like the cutest, like, never have I ever. Soul goes, never have I ever given a foot job. Honey, Trinity said, everyone's like, Trinity, for real, girl? You giving foot jobs? And she's like, it was one of the most uncomfortable things. It was hurting her feet. Like, she, no, baby, she don't recommend. And I'm like, okay, Trinity, for somebody so young, you've had some experiences. Okay, girl. I don't know why anybody would ask for a foot job. It's so awkward. And what does it really do? Like, might as well ask for a hand job or a blow job. Like, really, a foot job? That's just honestly, that's weird. So anyway, we get Melanie and Aniyah having a conversation, and Aniyah is still talking about Casey and the situation that happened last night, and I'm over it. I'm tired. She keeps complaining about the same goddamn thing, and Melanie's telling her this man reassures you, and she's still talking about the fact that he can't have a serious conversation for 5 minutes. I'm over it. I'm done. I can't. No more. I don't want to hear nothing about it anymore. This woman is looking for drama because she's bored in the couple. That's it. So now we get nighttime, and Sincere and Soul are in the kitchen, and Sincere is reassuring Soul, saying, listen, I'm going to pull Melanie because I feel like I haven't had a conversation with her after we recoupled, but I want to assure you that this is where I want to be. You and I, you're a breath of fresh air. You're mature. Like, he really wants to be with Soul. She's like, okay, I trust you. She said, definitely have the conversation with Melanie. It needs to happen. So after that, to have that conversation, oh my God. Hold on, guys. So after that conversation, Kenzie, I'm trying to figure out Kenzie is sitting in the kitchen with Jen, and she sees Melanie and Corbin having a conversation, and she's pissed that he has not pulled her or given her a kiss today. Kenzie, for real? Are you serious? Are you serious? You are so horny that you can't even think straight. That you're mad that he did not give you no kiss or he didn't pull you. to have a conversation. What conversations are you guys having? Let's be real here. What are the conversations you having? Because the last conversation that was outside of anything sexual was when you asked him what sport he played. Another microaggression, by the way. Because all tall Black people play a sport. He can't be a nerd. He can't be into cosplaying. No, he has to play. He plays in sports. That's the last like real regular conversation that we've seen you guys have. Everything else has been like, oh my God, why you even poke me? Why you want to be with her? Oh, you want to kill her? And all this other stuff. Like, girl, shut up, please be quiet. So now we get Aniyah and Casey, and they're trying to resolve the issues. I believe, are they in speakeasy? They're not in speakeasy, but they're trying to have this conversation. She's trying to tell him and explain to him why she was upset, and hold on, guys. No, they're in soul ties. Excuse me. They're in soul ties. Okay, let me change this up. So Aniyah and Casey are in soul ties, and they're trying to resolve the issues that they're having. She's trying to explain to him how she was feeling about the situation. She's like, listen, I just wanted 5 minutes of a serious conversation, but you making your jokes, it was just not the time and place. And he's like, listen. He said he apologized to her. He should have been serious. You know what I mean? He said, but this is who I am. He's a jokester. But he said, when it comes to him or just anybody in general, you're going to have a different, I guess, not necessarily personality, but certain people bring certain things out of him. You get what I'm saying? And he wants her to understand that he's not like a serious person. And he was like, but what you said to him, that he was choosing her as a safety, he said that was very disrespectful. You coming out your face saying that to me after I've been reassuring you and telling you my number one, he said it was very disrespectful. She's like, but then that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And I'm like, how many people just told you that's not true? How many, including KC, how many people told you that's not true? That was Casey's doing. But you're not listening. You just want to keep the drama going. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. And yet again, Casey reassures her, but it doesn't work. And the conversation ends. There's like absolutely no resolve because she refused to listen to what it is. He already apologized for laughing. Get over it. So after this conversation, there was a cut to Trinity, Kayda, and Gabrielle and asking him, like, don't you think you're moving a little fast with Jen? He said no. They laughed. Nobody cares about this conversation, honestly. So we got Kenzie, Soul, and Jen talking, I believe, in Say Less. And she's trying to give the rundown to the girls. And I'm just saying to myself, I think Kenzie thinks that Soul is one of them when she actually isn't. I think she is, and a lot of people do. A lot of white people do. They judge off complexion, and Soul is very fair skinned, but Kayda is more white than Soul is. Kayda is black, half white. Soul is not. Soul has 2 Black parents. Yeah. Yep. Surprise. And I feel like she is trying to rally Soul on her side to have more people so she can continue to victimize herself and make Melanie be the bad guy. She's talking to them and she's like, about the situation between her, Caleb, and Corbin. And Soul's like, listen, Caleb is all into you, but he's holding back that 1,000% because he's unsure of her. Like, how is she moving? Every time you see her, she's with Corbin. So how's he can't put his all into her because he doesn't know if he's going to waste his time. Because she keeps talking about Corbin or she's always near Corbin. So after that, we finally get the conversation between Sincere and Melanie, and they're in the speakeasy. And he's like, listen, I wanted to pull you to the side, especially after what happened. I never wanted this to happen. I never wanted to end this. I always wanted to be in a couple with you. And she's like, me as well. But pretty much is, it's been toxic. He's been lying. And, she's like, you've been kissing Soul like this whole time. we were allowed to explore. I've explored Corbin, but I've never kissed Corbin outside of a challenge, which you have kissed Soul several times outside of the challenge. And it really hurt her. And he apologized to her. He never wanted to hurt her. I'm like, oh, whatever, dude. Just like, whatever. Just lies and all kinds of stuff just comes out of your mouth. Nothing sincere. Anything you say is not sincere. But he said, how do you think I feel when you come down the stairs and you don't come towards me, you come to somebody else? I still miss you in the bed. I'm like, but you be kissing Soul in the bed every fucking night. You miss Melanie, but you've been kissing Soul every night since y'all been coupled up. What are we talking about here? Like, what are you talking about? Like, sincere, be quiet. But the conversation pretty much ends. They hug it out and they leave. And that is, hold on, let me see. No, it's not the end of oh my God, that conversation is still going. Anyway, so after that conversation, we get Kenzie and Corbin. This is the last part of the episode. And this another, it's Kenzie. Kenzie is a manipulator. She's not a very good one. I don't know why people are not peeping this, but she's not a very good manipulator. So Corbin pulls Kenzie for a chat and they go into the dorm room. There's like a little couch on the side. And he's like, how you feeling? She's like, you didn't talk to me all day. You didn't pull me for a chat. My little dog, your little sad puppy eyes. I thought, wanted to continue to explore, but I feel like you're prioritizing Melanie's feelings over mine. And he's like, that's not what it is. I'm trying to respect the couple that I'm in, but also pursue you. And she's not trying to hear nothing of that. She just puppy doggy and, all this other stuff. And he's like, listen, I still want to, explore you and get to know you and see where this goes. They have a makeout session and it cuts to her in her confessional. She's like, God, I love kissing him. He makes me so horny. I'm so lustful for him. I just love it, blah, 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 blah. Now, all the while they're kissing, her whole entire mood changes and she's all smiles. And I'm just like, this girl is not for real when it comes to Corbin. She just wants him sexually. And she does not want that to go away. That's why she's upset to Melanie, because she thinks, because let's be real here, everybody sees the chemistry between Corbin and Melanie. And if he really puts his all into Melanie, he's going to forget about Kenzie, and Kenzie is not going to get her DJing or whatever else they've been doing anymore in the bed or wherever else they can hide and do it. That's why she's upset. So when he pulled her to the dorms, he started making out. She's like, yes, I got him back on the hook. That's all it is. But that's where the episode ends. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about episode 11 and 12 in the comment section. We can have a discussion. We could talk. Come on, y'all. And like my video. Like, click the like button, y'all. And subscribe if you guys want to see more. There will be more TV shows coming up. I'm so tired, y'all. Forgive me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning now. But yeah, there'll be some upcoming other shows that's premiering. I know Married at First Sight is coming up in a couple of weeks, so we'll be definitely reviewing that. So definitely check back for that if you watch that show. And I hope you guys like this video. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Forgive me, y'all. I'm tired. I'll see y'all. That's your dose of drama for this week's reality report. The show may end, but the drama never. Catch you next time for more chaos, more tea, and more reality.